A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a bold move that has sent shockwaves through the global economy, President Donald Trump has implemented sweeping new tariffs that could reach as high as 50% on imports from multiple countries. This escalation in trade policy marks a significant intensification of the ongoing trade war, as the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Agency began enforcing these tariffs at 12:01 a.m. on Thursday. The tariffs, which had been the subject of weeks of speculation and negotiations with key trading partners, signify a new chapter in Trump's efforts to reshape the global trading landscape. The baseline import duty for many countries had previously been set at 10%, but Trump has now adjusted these rates dramatically. Notably, Brazil faces a staggering 50% tariff, while Switzerland and Canada are subjected to 39% and 35% tariffs, respectively. India is also in the crosshairs, with a 50% tariff looming in just 21 days as a direct consequence of its oil purchases from Russia. This aggressive stance has drawn sharp responses from leaders in Brazil and India, who are vowing to stand firm against Trump's hardline tactics. As part of his broader strategy, Trump has hinted at even more drastic measures, including potential tariffs of up to 200% on pharmaceutical imports and a 100% tariff on computer chips. The rationale behind these tariffs is rooted in Trump's assertion that foreign nations have been taking advantage of the U.S. in trade deals for far too long. He believes that these tariffs will lead to billions of dollars flowing back into the American economy, bolstering manufacturing and job creation. In a post on his social media platform, Truth Social, Trump declared, "The only thing that can stop America's greatness would be a radical left court that wants to see our country fail." This statement reflects his ongoing commitment to his America First agenda, which has been a cornerstone of his presidency. However, the economic implications of these tariffs are complex. While they are designed to protect U.S. industries, the reality is that tariffs are ultimately paid by companies importing goods, and these costs are often passed on to consumers. As a result, the average American could see price increases on a wide range of products as companies adjust to the new tariff landscape. Jamieson Greer, one of Trump's top trade negotiators, emphasized the administration's goal of reversing decades of policies that have, in their view, weakened U.S. manufacturing capabilities. He noted that many countries share concerns about macroeconomic imbalances, reinforcing the notion that the U.S. is not alone in its desire for a more equitable trading system. Despite the aggressive tariff strategy, some trading partners have managed to negotiate lower rates. The European Union, Japan, and South Korea have all reached agreements that reduce their baseline tariff rates to 15%. The UK has successfully negotiated a 10% tariff, while countries like Vietnam and Indonesia have secured rates of 19% or 20%. In contrast, Switzerland is facing a dire situation, with officials scrambling to mitigate the impact of a 39% tariff on its exports, including luxury goods like chocolate and watches. The Swiss government held an emergency meeting to address the fallout from the negotiations, highlighting the high stakes involved. The effects of these tariffs are already being felt across the globe. South Africa, for instance, has warned that the 30% tariff imposed on its precious gems and metals exports could jeopardize 30,000 jobs, forcing the country to seek new markets beyond the United States. South African officials are actively engaged in discussions with their U.S. counterparts in hopes of finding a resolution. Despite the potential economic turmoil, global markets reacted relatively positively to the announcement of the new tariffs, with Asian shares and U.S. futures trending higher. This response suggests that investors may have been anticipating the tariffs and have already factored them into their market strategies. The tariffs, which apply to 66 countries, including Taiwan and the Falkland Islands, are a revised version of what Trump previously termed reciprocal tariffs. These tariffs are aimed at countries with whom the U.S. has a trade surplus, alongside a baseline tax on nearly all other nations. Trump's approach has raised concerns that he is using tariffs as a tool to penalize countries for issues unrelated to trade, as evidenced by his decision to target Brazil over its treatment of former President Jair Bolsonaro. Both Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi have expressed their determination to resist Trump's demands, with Modi emphasizing his commitment to protecting the interests of Indian farmers. The potential for a united front among countries affected by Trump's tariffs is also emerging, as Lula has signaled his intention to reach out to Modi and Chinese leaders to discuss a coordinated response. As the deadline for a trade agreement with China approaches, Trump has yet to announce whether he will extend the current pause on tariffs that is set to expire on August 12th. The specter of additional tariffs looms large, particularly concerning China's purchases of Russian oil, as Trump seeks to leverage economic pressure in an effort to influence international relations. In conclusion, Trump's new tariffs represent a significant shift in U.S. trade policy with far-reaching implications for the global economy. As countries scramble to adapt to this new reality, the long-term effects on international trade, consumer prices, and diplomatic relations remain to be seen. With tensions rising and negotiations ongoing, the world will be watching closely to see how these developments unfold. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.